In part one, we met with Julian Bleecker and Liam Young, two visionary artists who gave us a glimpse into what a typical day at home in the future might look like. Next, we'll learn from them why they believe the future is ours to shape. Howdy, Liam. Howdy, Julian. How's it going in the future?
Future's fine, jump on in.
In part one, we talked about both of your work in design fiction. Can you explain to us what is the design fiction mindset? Because I'm still working out whether I want to sign up or not.
Yeah, okay. So if we think of design as this kind of magical act of translating our imagination into an object, into a material form, we think of fiction as inventing, sort of fabricating a possible world, telling a story in some form. So we're imagining a world and we're trying to create an object that is a representation of it.
In many ways, I think that the future isn't something that just rushes over us like water. It's something that we all play a really active role in shaping and defining. The future is something that we do.
Well, do you want to do some design fiction?
I think I probably do, yes.
So imagine yourself as an archaeologist who happens to have access to a time travel machine. And this time travel machine is a little bit wonky, but there's a button that says go. And when you click that button, you end up in some future. So if you go to this as an archaeologist, what might you see around you and what might you be able to bring back as an object?
Wow. It definitely involves massage. How about we have massage chairs that are solar powered in our houses in the same way that we have armchairs?
I love it. There you go. That's design fiction. You mentioned solar power. So obviously that's something that is a serious consideration that you've invested into it. That's the real power of it, is not just the object, but the conversation that happens when people engage it.
Very interesting.
That's really the challenge, because we're talking about this sort of slow motion catastrophe of climate change that right now is happening to us at a speed that is relatively comfortable to ignore. And I think a big part of what design fiction can do is to help us think about the future as a design condition that we're all involved in making.
We've got a question on here from our Instagram audience. @FazCood would like to know, if you were running a shop from the future, what would be your bestseller?
Mine would be an algorithm to manage your social media profile.
Nice.
Digital camouflage.
Good one.
What do you think that the role of artists will be in 100 years from now?
Wow. Art is a way of translating the imagination into a form that gets people to a different way of making sense of the world. And I think that is a crucial component of what it is to be a cultural creator. So I think we'll always need that particular kind of practice.
Yeah, in many ways, artists help us to stand outside of the reality and to look back in on it in new ways. So I don't see the role of artists changing at all, actually, but perhaps the job that artists perform becomes more and more critical as we dive deeper into more and more dangerous and confronting futures.
I'm seeing a sense of possibility, working with people very closely who are able to sort of activate their imagination in a kind of hopeful, optimistic way. I find that deeply meaningful. I almost feel touched at times, just the power of the human consciousness to create, to think differently. I'm seeing that in spades.
Lovely. You're both awesome. Keep up the good fight. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much.
A wild conversation on the future. There's still so much that I want to talk about. I could chat to those guys for hours. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time on Art and Technology. See you then.
Hyundai Motor, connecting art and technology.